Hey everyone, on this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast, we talk about what random skills we have to offer the scene, like being really good at arcade claw machines. We talk about some weird guy that injects Testi, and yes, you heard that right. We also talk about what shoes we recommend for hardcore shows and what shoes are best for spin kicking. Thanks for jumping on, and let's open this pit up.
Somebody hit somebody!
Hey everyone, thanks for jumping on to this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. So I'm Kyle, and I've got Trevor here. What's up, man?
Not much, man. I was we just got done talking about this, but weekend's just kind of low key this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's like start of school and it's still over 100 degrees down here. So
So
we
did
just
you
tried
guys
to
start school last week or is that
Yeah.
coming up?
No, yeah, we started school. So I think they started a little earlier this year because they've been doing like a full week of fall break, which is awesome.
Yeah. No, that's the same for us. So we started on Thursday and our youngest starts or our kindergartner starts on this coming Wednesday.
So we started on a Monday though. You guys are starting like midweek.
Yeah, dude, it was super weird.
Yeah, I don't like that because I just think about being in high school. It's like I wouldn't even have gone for those first 2 days.
Well, listen, we don't forget anything as it relates to school, but we got a text from our oldest teacher, and she's like, "Hey, are you coming to pick your daughter up?" And my wife's like, "Yeah, I'll be there when school's out." She's like, "You know, it was early out, right?" And so,
Man.
luckily, the school is literally right down the road from
Yeah.
us, so it took us 2 seconds to get there.
Yeah, that's bad. My mom left me so my mom drove me to a preschool when I was a kid, dropped me off, drove away. Well, turns out there was no preschool that day. So she came back like, I don't know, I think it was like a 4 or 5 hour preschool. And I've just sitting on the curb, been
Just
sitting there like,
chilling.
yeah, just been sitting there like the whole day by myself. Yeah.
I got
That
kicked
explains
out
a
of
lot of the trauma.
preschool.
Oh,
So
nice.
for
Yeah.
biting kids. Apparently the rich kid their dad complained that I bit their son, but dude, he was pulling my hair.
Yeah.
You
No,
gotta
he
fight
probably
back.
deserved it. Exactly. I remember the preschools in Utah being super weird because you just pull up to like someone's house. And it's like
Yeah.
you're just gonna go chill in their basement for like 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not hard to get approved to be a preschool here in Utah. As long as you got, I
Yeah.
think it's like 5 students or something and a semi-safe house, they'll give you funding. You're good.
But yeah, man. So what have you been listening to this week? Anything cool?
So I finally got on the 5x5 trend. I don't know if you saw that. Have you seen
No.
these Spotify 5x5s?
No, what's that?
So Last FM, I don't even remember the website. I'd have to look it up again, but you can link your Last FM to your Spotify account and
What's
then
Last
go to
FM?
just another music streaming service
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay.
But then you can go to a separate website and link that account. And what happens is if you put your username in there and it's linked properly to Last FM, you can click a 5x5 generate and it'll do like your most common played music over the last week, like the top 25 artists you've been listening to.
Okay.
So like
That's
if
cool.
you hop on and take a look at it, it's like Boy Sets Fire is like 10 of them because that's what we were talking about, right? So it's
What's the
kind of
rest
cool.
of it? What's the one that you wish wasn't on there?
Aiden Convictions. But we're talking about.
You still listen to Aiden?
Listen, I got onto Aiden because we're doing From First to Last in the next upcoming episode. And I was like, listen, I got to start listening to some scene music here. So I had to pop on some Aiden.
Dude, you went from like 0 to 100 on scene stuff. So
dude, you gotta take a look at mine. I have Aiden on there, and then I have First Blood on there. Like I've got Minor Threat on there. So I've got the whole span just because of what we're going to be talking about coming up.
That's okay. That's fair. I wonder what mine would be because I go on some like weird tangents with music and stuff. So.
Dude, it's pretty fun. Like, it's really interesting to see. I tried to do it the week before, but I had about 7 or 8 things that were Disney music from listening with my kids. So
which
I was like,
I mean, some of those albums smack. So
for sure, but I'm also not posting Disney albums next to whatever we were listening
You're listening to the First Blood, and then you've got freaking Moana next to it. So
that's exactly what it was. Frozen. I had what's his name? Panic at the Disco, Into the Unknown. So
Oh yeah, I forgot that
Absolutely.
he did a version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
this
so yeah.
week, let's see. This week, Fiddlehead dropped a new album, and I'm obsessed with Fiddlehead. I think they're great. This new album is just so good. It's so good, and it's like I read an article that was like it's non-hardcore music made for hardcore kids that don't want to listen to hardcore,
Nice.
right? So because it's the singer from Have Heart,
Yep.
and but it's not like it's not like Have Heart. It's way softer. So it's like it's a really cool kind of in between. You can put it on when your kids are around. You don't have to worry about you know windmilling into one of your kids and stuff.
So I've got a question about that, and everyone's going to be different when it relates to this kind of stuff. But there's a lot of like chill music I've been listening to from the hardcore scene lately, but there's a lot of language involved. Do you care about that around your kids?
I generally try not to play songs that say the F word with my
Yeah.
kids because they're pretty young. And it's not because like I'm clutching pearls or anything. It's more of like I don't really want my 8-year-old going to school
And being that kid?
and being that kid.
Yeah.
But I'm not like if it comes on, like it's whatever. I just ignore it and he just ignores it too. But I try to do, I don't know. I try to be a little bit of a good parent and not get into that. But at the same time, like I don't listen to softer music just because my kids are around. Like I will still put on heavy aggressive music even if my kids are around. So like I guess that's a weird line to draw.
It's super weird, right? Because I'm the same way. Like, I'll be putting on music that's super heavy and things like that. If they don't understand the F words, I'm usually okay with it. If it's like a very
Yeah.
clear, concise, they drop it, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not playing this in front of you. But the
Well,
reason I bring it up is because I've been listening to that Ways Away the
yeah,
last week because of Boy Sets Fire and kind of them connecting to Boy Sets
right.
Fire. And they say the F word a ton. I'm like, well, this is not something that unfortunately I could
Yeah.
listen with my kids around. So
You know what's funny is like the one good thing that Taylor Swift ever did was normalize the F word in music. Cause like my wife used to get so mad when I'd listen to music that swore. But then all of a sudden Taylor Swift starts swearing in some of her records and now it's fine. It's not a big deal.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that she
Yeah.
was dropping that. So,
Yeah, no, she has a few songs with the F word now. And
oh,
so
hey,
I feel a
let's go
lot
T
better
Swift.
listening to, yeah, like we were talking about Parkway Drive. I feel a lot better about that part in Boneyards now.
Oh, man. Or Romance is Dead.
Oh, that's the one. Romance is Dead. That's it. Not Boneyards. Yeah,
Yeah.
Romance is Dead. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. But that
For
part
sure.
for sure. The other album that I want to talk about real quick is Movements. Now that is one. So that the band's called Movements. If you haven't heard of them, they're like one of these chill bands that we've been talking about. They just released a new album, Ruckus. My son is obsessed with that album, and it's awesome. It is a great album, and you guys should definitely check it out.
Yeah, no, that's one that I'm going to put on. I'm going to put both those albums on this week. I just had such a busy weekend when these things dropped that I just haven't
Yeah,
had a chance to get to them yet. But what we were just talking about too, I've already started diving into some from first to last, which didn't quite realize they were a 2003 start,
yeah, I didn't
just
either.
blowing my mind. No, the thing that started kind of popping up, and as I've just been looking into news or events and things like that, Corpse Grinder. We've talked about him a couple of times in the last couple episodes, but Cannibal Corpse vocalist, huge claw machine guy, and collects plushies that he just recently donated to a children's hospital. Is
So
there?
he goes to those like arcades and just spends a ton of money on claw machines.
Oh, dude, it's like the best thing ever. Every now and again, like you'll see a picture where it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like I'm looking right now, and he's holding like monsters. Like there's Jason and Freddy and Frankenstein and
Right.
stuff like that. It's like, okay, I could see Corpse Grinder going and grabbing a few of those. The picture right above is just like colorful Care Bears. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what the claw machine is. If there's a claw machine, he goes and like empties these things. Like he's crazy good at it. So
that's insane because I'm like pretty confident that those are all completely rigged.
you would think so, right? But he's got a secret to it. Apparently, he donated 7 garbage bags full of plushies to this children's hospital.
That's
That's a
awesome.
ton of plushies.
Yeah.
So the question is, what secret skill do you have that you could should bring some light to the hardcore scene?
I mean, I don't know. Nothing. Good good practices on shaving your head for all the guys that are going bald. I don't know. I've been doing that for a while. I work in IT, so I guess I could help if there were festivals on giving Wi-Fi to all the people there. Like that'd be, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. I should reach out to these guys and be like, hey, you need help? Like, you want to live stream some of the stuff? I'll help you set up the network for it. So
There we
I can do
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
what's
about
up
you then?
breaking free? Dude, I'm kind of the same way. I was trying to think like what would a secret skill be? I don't know, man. I've gone deep into cooking. What kind of like
Oh.
chef stuff can I do?
I
But
mean,
no, that's like corpse grinder. Here's the thing that's crazy. Go read Cannibal Corpse lyrics and then picture that guy holding Care Bears. Like that's what
yeah.
just blows me away. But the dude is just like he's such a nice, sweet guy kind of thing, and just sings about terrible things. So
Yeah. And I know that there's that hardcore festival. It's like a toy drive. They always do like hardcore festivals, and then
yeah,
they do toy drives with them. So look, yeah, sure, the guy might have his face tattooed, but they're probably good people, So don't
yeah,
judge a
for
book by
sure.
its cover. Like, we care about the kids too. Like, we crowd kill them, and then later we bring them toys. So
Just crowd kill their older brother.
yeah, it's the
The kids
circle
are
of
fine.
life. It's the circle of life.
No,
But
absolutely.
so one thing that I was reading was Phoebe Bridgers wearing a Dying Wish shirt. I
All
wanted to
right,
bring that up. So
we
how do you
getting
feel
into
about
this,
that? Yeah, well, I want to get into it a little bit.
bro? I'm totally good with it. Like, here's the thing: we've talked about this before. Josh is our typical gatekeeper here on on the show, but I'm down for it.
So
Like, I don't.
you don't feel like they're using it at all as like a way to promote themselves or to seem cool and outside the box, and you don't think they're taking advantage of that to try and
To
I don't know.
promote the hardcore kids? Like
Yeah, but
the
I don't
scene you're
know.
going after is not the right scene for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel genuine.
So here's the thing about her. She's been around for a long time now. I don't know her background. I don't know her history or whatnot. I've heard that she's done some old punk stuff like before she broke big, but all of her merch and everything like that has always been very metal inspired.
So is she writing Phoebe Bridgers in that scribble? Because if she
Yeah,
did that, then I might be able to give her a little more credit.
like pull up some of her like merch and stuff. Like my sister-in-law has one of her shirts and it looks like just you would think it's an old Iron Maiden t-shirt.
Mm,
Like that's the kind of like style it is. It has like lightning and like I think it's like a
yeah,
horse and
I don't know.
skeleton or something.
Here's here's what somebody had said. Somebody had made the comment that if she was truly a fan of this music, why does her music suck? And so it's like, if you are a big Dying Wish fan, if you are a big metalcore band, front a metalcore band. Don't sing indie music.
Yeah, but this goes back to what are you gonna do with Posty then? What about Post Malone? Why does he get
Post
the
Malone,
pass?
because he shows up to shows. He tried out for metalcore bands. He tried to be in a metalcore band. They told him no, so he, I guess, became a global superstar in hip hop.
Yeah, you
But
don't know what
there's like
Phoebe's doing behind though,
there's
behind the scenes.
but that's the whole point, right? Like I'm not against people like Travis Barker because I know that he's been very involved in the scene.
We've talked
There's
about
some
Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy been very involved in the scene. I have no problem with that, but like I just don't know how I feel about these because sometimes it feels like they're just using it as like, hey, hardcore is becoming trendy. There's been bands playing at Coachella. I'm gonna ride that wave and take advantage of it, and I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I listen, I understand the arguments for it. Last time you were on my side.
I
The more
was.
the more the merrier kind of thing. But it's just like you want to call it a sellout? You want to call it like she has to pay the bills somehow? People like her music and so who cares what she listens to behind the scenes? Like so here's my question to you because we've talked about this before. What about the hardcore metalcore bands that are in their bus listening to country music?
Look, we're already in the scene. Nothing else matters. We're the top of the pyramid. All right. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Listen, if
Look,
you're
man,
going to
I've been to an Ed Sheeran show. All right.
Hey, I told you to burn your shirt when you
I've
were
read
bringing this
both
up.
scenes. Yeah, but I've read both scenes. All right. I've been involved in both. Now, if I had never gone to an Ed Sheeran concert and I was just wearing an Ed Sheeran shirt, then sure, maybe call me out on it.
Okay.
But no, dude, I've put the time in.
As long as she's down for if she gets called out to just take it and just move on with it, like the Kardashians with Gary Holt putting "Kill a Kardashian" on a shirt kind of thing. Like, hey, if she can handle it, then great.
All
Be
right.
part of the scene. So, but I don't know. I'm fine with it. I don't think that it's that big of a deal. We don't know what her musical preferences behind the scenes. And who knows? Maybe she's on the next Dying Wish album.
Maybe. Well, I do know she did guest vocals for Turnstile, but it was the new Turnstile album, which doesn't count. Dude, I love that album. I actually listen to it all the time, but it doesn't count.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, this is going to bridge kind of perfectly into my next question. We talked about the scowl controversy about people calling them the industry plants, right? Clearly, they're not. But it got me thinking of like, if there was going to be an industry plant, what is the best example of just someone who made a business plan and then actually was successful of it? And the freaking Liver King came to mind. Like, have you watched Liver King stuff?
no. What's the Liver King? Because I don't know what the Liver King is.
So the Liver King is a guy who originally claimed to be 100% natural, just insane physique, right? Like it looks like he had like implanted 8-pack abs,
Okay.
insane muscles, but he never wears a shirt. He doesn't shower. He doesn't like brush
Oh
his
my
teeth.
god.
Like he goes by like the ancestral lifestyle.
Okay.
He's like, our ancient ancestors didn't do all that stuff, so why should I? Kind of thing. And part of that is I'm going to eat 100% raw diet.
I mean, they also
Raw,
died. They also died at like 35.
right,
So.
right. But it's less about life longevity and more about physique and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair. All right.
Okay,
At least he's honest
but
about that.
yeah, exactly. So he starts promoting this stuff. He starts coming around. I don't know when he originally rose to fame, but 2021 was like a big wave of Liver King. He was everywhere. TikToks, YouTube, Facebook, wherever, whatever platform you were on, he was on there promoting this
Okay.
raw testicle diet kind of thing.
That's the guy that ate the
Yeah.
testicles and milk or something, right?
Yeah, the one I just sent
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
this
disgusting.
is
Okay.
this is
All right.
Liver
All
King.
right. Yeah. Okay.
He goes through, denies using steroids, all of this stuff for years. And finally, it gets leaked that the dude is juiced out of his mind, right? And like,
And when we say juice, are you talking about cocaine? Because I saw how this guy looked.
I probably, but
You can probably keep a real good physique if you're freaking drugged out the way that he looks like he is, man.
he was on an intense bodybuilding cycle, testosterone bodybuilding
Okay.
cycle, like test other. I'm not familiar with it. I wish Josh was on here. I'm sure he could tell us all the stuff he was probably on, but
Bunch of testicles. He's on that testy diet. Is that what they
exactly.
call it? Yeah. Okay.
The testy.
The test. He's doing test. Yeah, that's code for testicles.
Yeah, why is everyone giving liver king tap? All he's doing is just injecting testicles into himself.
That sounded real weird, but sure, man. If that's what gives him that physique. All right.
Anyway, so it comes out, right, that all this is happening. So people start deep diving into his background. And apparently, there was a complete business plan that was created prior to his blow up. So he was like successful beforehand, like he had money, but all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to take over social media, and had like a step by step program on how he was going to become successful. And it was going to be like, do something crazy, right? Like, so raw meat diet, that's crazy,
Right.
but promote the crap out of it, make sure I'm everywhere, take it to the extreme. You know what I mean? Like, just over the top. So, my question is, if we are going to be industry plants, what's our step by step process on doing this?
I mean, okay, first of all, I feel like to be an industry plant, you have to be in an industry where being a plant actually works. The fitness industry feels like it's been like people have been hoodwinked in the fitness industry for the beginning of time, right?
Sure.
I remember growing up, like people were always talking about those stupid shakes and stuff. And that's like, everyone's like, I'm not going to eat food ever again. I'm just going to drink Slim Fast. And
Right.
people's livers are giving out and stuff, right? Because they're not eating anything. Yeah. So, anyways, the point to that is that I think the fitness was a really good like market for this guy to go after because they've been hoodwinked forever. I don't know that hardcore is that market though.
I
I
think it
think
could
that
happen.
I mean, because you
Listen,
look at all the hardcore, and I'm doing air quotes, hardcore bands that have made it are ones that have sold out and sang worse music. Like I guess you could say Turnstile, but in the hardcore scene, and just to answer your question, if you're going to be an industry plant, I think the band that has done it and the plan that I would follow would be how Tsunami got big, because you're really giving in to the tough guy, beat down bully mentality that draws a lot of people to hardcore, and they capitalized on it. They've even come out admitting that it's a joke, but they capitalized on that, dude.
listen, man. You just took it a step above what I was going to do. I wasn't calling anyone out on this thing.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I feel fine saying Tsunami because like they've admitted that like the whole point to their band is to be like to kind of poke fun at the tough guy beatdown stuff, right?
But I mean,
But that's exactly what we're talking about. They had a
that's
plan that
having
said,
fun. I'm
"I'm
talking
yeah,
like, listen, who's going to be on the next Taco Bell halftime show that's unknown today, kind of thing? That's unknown tomorrow. So, step by step plan, right? And this is not being sexist, but you gotta put a female in there, right?
okay,
Like
okay."
it's to be honest with you, it's sex appeal.
So you do think Scal's a plant?
No, come on, bro.
Okay,
Don't put that on me. Scal's not a plant. Like we know
okay,
Scal's not, but I would follow Scal's model. If I was the music industry right now, I would find another female-led band. I would honestly chat GPT some crazy ass lyrics, and I would get like a well-known hardcore guy to be writing some crazy beatdown or kind of the resurging 90s grunge feel type of music
yeah.
because that's what's going on.
I don't know. After talking about all these bands though, the past like couple months, like what I would probably do as a formula to be huge is I would start out super heavy. I would get the hardcore scene to back me, and then I would sell out and make softer and softer music, aka Parkway Drive. And then I would sell out, these massive stadiums. But I don't feel like because I feel like if I was to play sellout music now, like Chevelle or something like that, like you wouldn't make it. Like I feel
Okay.
like to get traction, you have to start in a scene where people will actually come out and see you as a nobody. And then once you start gaining traction, take advantage of them and then become huge.
But I would also do what, and again, not calling people out, but I would grab a Phoebe Bridgers and throw on whatever my new band name hoodie is. I'd put it on a Kardashian. I'd put it on Travis Barker. I'd put it on anyone who's mainstream. Get it produced by what's his name, Mark Hoppus,
I don't know any
the
of those
other
people.
Blink bassist.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
I'd get some big names who are supporting it and run this thing up the chain, pay each one of them $1 million and
Yeah.
have the next industry plant.
Yeah. But that's even just talking about this, which is all hypothetical, right? It really is just the dumbest thing that people say that like Scal is an industry. People say Koyo is an industry plant too.
Right.
And I don't know how you go to a Koyo show and think that they're an industry plant or a Scal or even a Turnstile or a Tsunami. Like, go watch Tsunami play and tell me that they're an industry plant. You know
Listen,
what I mean?
man,
Because their shows are freaking wild, dude. They put on some of the coolest shows ever.
the way that hardcore is becoming mainstream, though, we're gonna get it. We're going to get one of these bands that's made by a label that just gets promoted and shoved down our throats.
See,
So I'm
I
warning
just,
everyone right
yeah.
now, keep an eye out. Because the
we're,
next big day, the next world tour you see,
we're calling
industry
it.
plans.
Yeah,
We're
it.
calling
Now,
it.
first of all, dude, I'm going to very much disagree with you because there's no way this will ever happen in the hardcore scene. Go to a show. I mean, look at all the people that were complaining about how aggressive Knocked Loose was at Coachella. You're never going to be able to get a hardcore band or whatever to be like that big. Like it's like true hardcore. Like Scal like has softened up if you listen to their EP. It's quite a bit softer than the stuff they've made earlier. And so it's like they got soft, they become bigger. You're not going to get a band like Tsunami or a Corpse Grinder that's going to be like, or Cannibal Corpse and be an industry plant. Cause it's like you go to one of those shows and you walk out of there beat up and you're like, yeah, we're not going to promote this. You know, you're not going to, all these kids talking about how they got assaulted and knocked loose. It's like, you can't promote that.
Hey, I mean,
Are those
shows are selling out. Shows
maybe
did not sell out when we were younger.
I just think
It
there's
is
a lot more
becoming
draw to
bigger
it.
and bigger.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess on the flip side, like the honest side of me says, well, that worries me a little bit because I don't want the scene to change. I don't want it to be like as convoluted as a lot of these other music scenes have gotten throughout the year. Like I don't like, I want to be able to go to a show and have it be the same thing I've been familiar with for almost 20 years, you know?
Let's get to the point where we can sell out a basketball arena and the entire floor is a pit.
It'll never happen.
$500 tickets, and you just get to watch people just beat the hell out of each other.
Oh man, you can't even like even Haley Williams from Paramore, when there was a fight at her concert, she's like, this isn't a terror show. So it's like you will never escape that like opinion that people have of hardcore, which honestly, like as bad as this sounds, it honestly probably protects the scene a little bit.
That's true.
You know, because it's like, could you imagine that like they're like halftime show, Terror is playing.
Yeah,
and you have people like ripping chairs out of the stadium to like try and get down on the field and stage dive at the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think so, man.
How sick would it be to see the halftime show get shut down because someone got beat up?
People saw like
the security's just up there, just macing the crowd that they brought onto the field.
yeah, dude. Could you imagine that? They like bring all the fans out on the field for Terror, and people are like, it's like the same setup as like if like a pop star like Terror's being like lifted up and people are like climbing on there and like
like hanging from the rafters, like
right.
hanging.
And again, this is proving my point that there are no industry plants in the hardcore scene. There's no money to be made. It is way too much of a liability to do that in the hardcore scene. It really is.
I think it's coming. I think we're going to see something ridiculous that gets just over the top. Some insane tour, arena tour or something announced with just way too aggressive of a band.
I mean, yeah, it kind of happened a little bit with Knocked Loose. And maybe Knocked Loose wasn't the right band for that to happen. And like, to be in all honesty, man, someone's going to get hurt. I just think about like playing sports with my older brother as a young kid. My mom always told me, you're going to get hurt. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You do a tour with like a Phoebe Bridgers and then you bring on Dying Wish, someone's going to get hurt.
And you know what? Like, that's the circle of life, right? The older brother beats up the younger brother kind of thing.
I guess that's fair.
You're coming into the scene, you're going to get beat up.
And then you get pissed off and you're like, man, I wish there was music that would like relate to how I'm feeling right now. And then before you know it, you are listening to Terror and you're head walking on people, you know?
Oh my gosh. That video that I sent you guys of that full out like brawl that was happening.
Yeah. Those guys climbing on top of each other.
So apparently it's like a thing. I don't know where this is, but it's like you get a ball and you have to take the ball somewhere, but the entire community participates in it. And the only rule is you can't kill someone. Like that's literally like the only rule these guys have. So if you guys are on Twitter and you see a video of like a giant crowd pushing each other and people like head walking and throwing punches, it's a game they're playing. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Which was funny to see because you sent that video and the caption was like, what hardcore show is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh dang.
Speaking of stuff like that, did you see that backyard show with Taking Back Sunday?
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's
what
not
I would have
fair, man.
Given to do that.
It's not fair that like a group of people got to see them, because I'm pretty sure they played Tell All Your Friends because those were the songs that I heard in the clips.
Yeah.
It's not fair that people got to see them play Tell All Your Friends in a backyard show. It's not fair.
Someone right after that like tagged them in a thing that was like, so backyard tour, like let us know, we'll hook it up. And they were just like, no, this was just a one and done thing for friends here in Long Island. And it's just like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like there's good local bands in every scene, right? But it's not Taking Back Sunday.
I know.
Right? Like the biggest one we would have is probably the used. If the
Right.
used was to do something out here,
Yeah. I don't know that they'd be received as well.
I don't know if they count Utah as their home base anymore either.
Oh, really?
It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to
I don't know.
talk to them. See,
I haven't thought of the used in like 15 years. So,
I can still get down to some used.
but seeing those guys at the Taking Back Sunday show and everyone's like dogpiling. Did you see the singer's name's Adam, right?
Yeah,
He like jumped up into the crowd too and was like upside down and still singing. I was like, gosh dang it. That looked like so much fun.
man, you remember their shows from back in the day, and he used to like climb the scaffolding off to the
Yeah.
side and like hang upside down. Like he was always crazy.
He was
And
like
then
he was the first guy I ever saw that like had to like tape his mic because
because
he
he
was like
swung
swinging
so
it
much.
around everywhere, you know?
And then there's all the brand new back and forth stuff, and brand new had the shirts that was like mics are for singing and not swinging or something.
Oh,
Do
really?
you remember that?
No.
Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up here. What does it say? I'm pretty sure it said mics are for swing or for singing, not swinging. That's what the shirt was. Just direct shot at those guys.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I was reading is somebody, and I'm pretty sure they were making a joke, but they were asking about wearing sandals to a hardcore show.
Okay.
And like everybody was just laughing, being like, yeah, sure. Like, you know, I hope you don't need your toes or after or whatever.
Right.
But it got me to thinking because I've been struggling with this the last couple shows I've been to is proper footwear. Like, what
What
do
are
you
you
think?
rocking right now?
Well, so I bought some like indoor soccer shoes
Okay.
and I've been wearing those because they're like, I don't know, it was like grippy enough on the bottom, but I still felt like I could get like maximum velocity on my spin kicks, you know?
Okay.
So I've been rocking some like indoor soccer shoes. I felt like those were pretty good, but
So, I mean, what did you buy? What are they?
there's Nike indoor soccer shoes.
Nikes. I
Yeah, just
gotcha.
Nikes.
I used to,
So
my favorite shoe that I used to wear to shows, but the problem was these things ran out of grip so fast that like within a month or two of wearing them to shows, I was slipping anyways. But the Onitsuka's Tiger,
I don't know what those are.
pull them up. I mean, they look like just basically like
Just like tennis shoes.
Asics.
Okay, so it's just like
Like
a tennis shoe,
it basically
like a
would be
running
like
shoe.
an indoor soccer shoe kind
Oh,
of thing.
okay.
Yeah. But I
Because I
used to wear
remember
those.
back in the day, the big deal was like Pumas. You know,
Yeah, very
like
similar.
if you saw a kid with like basketball shorts and like a jersey in Pumas, then it's like you're just waiting to get hit by him. You know.
Right? They were the ones throwing the kicks too. They were
Yeah,
the
they
ones
were
who
just
got their feet high,
right.
right?
They're doing cartwheels and crap. You know, in the
So,
middle of the pit. So
okay. So that's an interesting point. You almost could tell the style of dancing they would have based off their footwear too, right?
yeah,
They were
no,
wearing
it's good.
some big clunky shoes. They were probably just throwing high, right? It was all
Yeah,
hands, all fists. They
I
have
mean,
on these indoor soccer shoes, roundhouse kick to the face.
exactly.
Let's go.
If they're wearing like military boots, then probably circle pitting,
Circle pitting.
skank dancing. You
Yep.
know,
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So, what is the best shoe right now? I mean,
when I went to Drain, I saw a ton of people wearing like those Jordans,
yeah,
like the high top Nikes, like the old school Jordans. And I'm just like, man, I don't know that I'm spending like 80 to $100 on shoes and then I'm ruining them at a concert.
right.
You know, like I'm going to Walmart and picking up. I mean, these Nike ones I got were on sale and they were like $40 maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
that was,
I very
you know,
vividly remember my concert shoes were always just like my oldest pair of whatever I had because you
yeah,
just knew they were getting stepped on, they were getting trashed and
right.
stuff like that. As long as they had some sort of grip, I was down for it.
And you had to be able to tie them because, like, I
Yes.
used to wear skater shoes. Remember how you used to tie the stupid knot like at the end of the lace, and then they'd
Yeah.
be like super like loose on your feet, and then you'd lose them at concerts, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So skater
I don't
shoes are
know.
good though. But I don't do you see kids rocking like true skater shoes anymore?
No, they're all the SBs, the Nike SBs now, and it's a
Right.
much thinner profile. It's
Yeah.
almost like a soccer shoe top kind of
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
just a little bit of a thicker bottom. So I actually have a couple SBs that I was thinking about wearing to a couple shows that are coming up, but I've also got some Metcon fits that I was probably just going to slip on.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
tough.
I'm just waiting for the guy down here in Texas to like crowd surf with boots on, like cowboy boots.
Yeah.
He's got like spurs or something.
Dude, there is not grip on those. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
go
no.
cowboy boots at a pit.
I mean, they do yell out two step quite a bit, so which is like
That's true.
the doocy do. Or what do they call it? The dosey do? I don't know. I'm not. I don't listen to that.
Doocy do.
I don't listen to that crap, dude. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man. No, I've gotta figure it out. I'm getting back into concert shape kind of thing. But last show I went to, I didn't go into any sort of pit or anything like that. I expect to probably go into pits the next couple shows I go to. So probably gonna have to figure out the proper footwear
Bring
coming
it
up.
back, man. Rock the Pumas. Bring it
I
back.
know. I know. I might have to go get some of those. I freaking love those shoes. They were so good. I think oh, what was the other one? I don't remember what they were called. Josh used to let me borrow some when my shoes were rough.
You guys used to share shoes?
We went somewhere and just like my shoe literally had like zero grip. I could be on like asphalt that had just been freshly done and slip. Like they were that bad. And so I was like, dude, I have to have something else. And he had a pair in his car that I would grab. Yeah, man. I don't know. What are the next shows you're going to?
I don't think I'm going to anything till No Bragging Rights in September, and then the next day is the Wonder Years.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got the back to
So,
back.
yeah.
I got No Bragging Rights this week. It's on the 22nd,
Yeah,
August 22nd.
I have not seen them in so long, and I'm pumped to see them.
Yeah. So the last time I saw these guys was up in Logan, and there was like 10 of us there because some kid just like caught them on their way from, I think they were going from Idaho to California or Idaho to Nevada. And he's like, you got to stop by and just play Logan. And so they did. And I was talking to the kid. He's like, yeah, I'm out like $1,500 because he just had to pay the band to stop
Yeah.
and no one came.
No one went.
It was insane. It was so fun though. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, I think we had 3 of the people there. And then there's just
You
some,
guys were
that was
30% of
it.
the crowd.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure I was one of the only people who knew the lyrics, so I was
Right.
just like running and singing with them, and then just running around this giant open space alone.
Man, their last album is so good. The
Yeah,
self-titled one. It's become like one of my top albums.
yeah,
I have liked No Bragging Rights quite a bit for a long time. So this album though was just like on a whole nother level because I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I'm a huge sucker for melodic stuff,
yep.
and they've got some great melodic hardcore in that album.
Dude, they do so good. And the other thing too, and we've talked about this as well, is just like a vocalist who can scream and you can still understand almost everything that he says. It's just so good
Yeah.
to listen to. And his vocals are just, they're perfect. They're great.
I'm excited to see if they play anything from what's that album? The one that we got into, the one that has like Ode to Logan, The Consequence of Dreams. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I hope they play stuff off that album because that'll be like a nostalgia kick right to the face.
Dude, it'd be so good.
That was such a good album.
The 2009 Living on a Prayer cover.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like, so if you go to Apple Music and you look at their like recommended or similar artists, it's like Stick to Your Guns, To the Wind, Close Your Eyes, which all 3 of those are solid bands. Then it's Queen, Bon Jovi,
Right.
and then it's Counterparts, The Ghost Inside, Journey, Vanna, and Guns N' Roses.
Oh gosh.
It's like, I don't know that Apple knows what they're doing. I get that they covered one Bon Jovi song, but I don't know that I'm going from Queen to No Bragging Rights.
No, right? But that Living on a Prayer cover got a lot of attention in 2009. So, if you're just going to say what's similar to Living on a Prayer, they're on with that. So,
Yeah.
but
So I got another question for you here real quick.
yeah,
I did a little bit of outdoor stuff the last few weeks. And what's your opinion on listening to music out there?
like
If you're hiking,
for everyone to
if you're
hear.
camping, yeah. Do you listen to music when you go out and do stuff?
So you said hiking?
Yeah, like hiking or camping or at a lake or at the beach.
Depends on what I'm listening to. Number one, if I have on something heavy, I'm fine with it being out loud, but it's turned down a decibel just because not everyone likes it kind of
Yeah.
thing. But if I'm listening to something chill like we talked about, probably like the new Fiddlehead album, you could probably crank that and not be fine with it. I actually posted that question though a couple weeks ago. I was golfing, and it's become much more popular on golf courses to do music and stuff. When is it going to be acceptable to put hardcore on the golf course? That was
Yeah.
my question.
Well, honestly, like I'm super against it
Are you?
because I did not go out to nature to listen to people's crappy music. Even if it's music that I like, I don't want to hear it while I'm out in nature. Now, with that being said, if there's no one around, I might put music on my phone. When I see people, I turn it off because I'm not doing that to people.
Gosh, man,
I will
you're
though.
old man showing right now.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It bugs me, but I do bring speakers sometimes because if you are going to blast your annoying music and you're not going to be considerate of me, I promise you my music's more annoying than your music, and I'm going to turn that stuff way up.
And it's going to be the stuff that even I'm questionable listening to.
Hi, like we were talking about last week, it's going to be straight hardcore, dude.
Let's go.
I'm blasting some like foul stuff just to piss people off because I like don't do it, man. I'm out in nature. I don't want to hear your music. Turn it down. You know.
Okay. So you asked this in our text thread about doing it in your car. What's your opinion on rolling those windows down and just
Yeah.
cranking?
I see. I don't know. I try to be respectful. If I'm driving around town and I'm stopped at a light, I'll turn it down because
All right.
I don't want to be disrespectful, I guess. If
It totally
I'm driving to where there's like wind speed, like wind noise and stuff, and you can't really hear it, I'm not going to turn it down. I'll blast it.
see, it
Now,
totally
if it's,
depends on my mood.
yeah,
Like every now and again, I'm driving and I've got some nasty something playing, and I just like unroll the windows and I'm like, yeah, look at me. I dare you to look at me.
yeah, I don't know, man. We used to be like that in high school. Cause remember I had that I had a pretty decent sound system in my car. And like, maybe that's why I've got tinnitus and stuff, is just blasting music in that old Grand Am
Yeah,
that we would drive around with. But now, like, nah, I don't. Even if it's softer music, if I'm at a light and stuff and people have their windows down, like I turn it down.
I'm again your old man showing.
So are you
But
driving through a neighborhood at like 12 at night, just blasting music then? Or like where's the limit for you on
all
turning
right,
music down?
no, I'm not blasting at 12 at night. But if it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, even if it's like rush hour and roads are busy and stuff like that, if I'm in the car alone, I got that thing cranked most of the time.
Okay.
Like I
All
don't
right.
usually care about in my car. If I pull into a parking lot though, yeah, I turn it
Yeah,
down.
you turn it in. All right.
Yeah. But on
Well,
the road, fair game.
okay. Yeah, if it's like on the freeway and stuff and it's
No,
like
even
loud
like back roads. But on the
background.
road, fair game. Until I hit my neighborhood. I've got appearances to keep up. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So on back roads, again, if there's no one around, I'll blast it. If there's people around, I usually turn it down and stuff. But if there's people listening to us, let us know what you think on that, because I'm genuinely interested to know your opinions on listening to music outside and listening to music in your car, like how loud you turn it up and where you guys draw the line. So let us
yep,
know what you think about that.
I'm down. So okay, man. Well, I think we're gonna start seeing a couple more, like I said, shows coming up and things like that. So more content that way. So watch our social medias. Hopefully we get some good footage of a few things, and this is fun.
Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah.
it
This
again
was good.
next week.
Yep. We'll see you then, dude. See you.
Peace.